J. All right, welcome to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay Real, and we're here because it is Tuesday with Lady Amethyst to do the Magic Minute. So we have a lot to cover this week on the Magic Minute, so let's just dive right on in and talk to these people about Modern Masters.
Well, it was released last Friday, I think.
Yes, it was.
Very soon.
Yeah, it was a big release, actually. I think that most people didn't anticipate the impact that Modern Masters was going to have on the Magic community, because anyone that I talked to, and I'm sure you talked to, was just like, I should have bought more, I should have got more, I should have ordered more. So let's just talk a little bit about a couple of the big cards that were released with Modern Masters. What do you got for us?
Well, first we've got Demigod of Revenge. It has flying haste, and whenever you cast Demigod of Revenge, return all cards named Demigod of Revenge from your graveyard to the battlefield. So.
Now, what do you think about that?
I think if you were going to play that, you'd have to have a lot of them in your deck.
Right, so you'd run all four, because you're allowed four, correct?
Yeah, like cast a murderer on one, and then play one, and then...
So it's a fun way to play that card if you build a deck with that, don't you think?
Yeah.
All right, what else do we got?
We have Arcbound Ravager. Sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Arcbound Ranger. Ravager. And it has Modular 1. Modular
1. Now, this was a big artifact from back in the day, and them reprinting it is actually really cool, and I'm sure a lot of people are excited about Arcbound Ravager. Now, these are just a couple of the cards that were released in the set, but there was one that is really making a lot of noise right now, and tell us about it. What's up with this card?
That is Termagoy. It has actually shot to over $100 from the set. That is very rare with the card.
Right, because Magic usually kind of takes a while for it to develop and get played and people to get used to it and want to buy it, and this thing just took off. Yeah.
And I also found out that foils are bringing in over $300.
Now, folks, if you don't know Magic, and this sounds like, what are these people spending hundreds of dollars on? This is a very good way to it's a good hobby. It's a good activity. You can do it with your kids. You can do it with family members. And so, yeah, these are big numbers, and that's why it's very rare that a card is taken off like that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. What else is going on with the Modern Masters?
Cards were reprinted from 8th edition to Alara Reborn.
Right. So they just picked and chose some sets, and they said, we're going to reprint these.
Took a chunk out of the sets.
There you go. All right, cool. And what else?
Cards will be in short supply until the set is out of print.
So basically right now, folks, if you want to get in on the Modern Masters, you better get in now, because I'm sure as you would agree, they're not going to keep reprinting it forever.
Yeah.
That's what's going to keep the value of these cards up there, you know what I mean? All right. Anything else going on?
And on July 13th, we have a pre-release for M14.
Right.
Everybody's looking forward to that.
Exactly. Now, give us a couple of the cards out of M14 that are going to be popular.
Well, we have Vampire Warlord. He's a vampire, of course. Sacrifice another creature and you can regenerate him.
Wow. So anyone that likes black or vampires is going to be all over this guy. Very true. It sounds like a good card.
And then we have Archangel of Thune.
Okay.
With flying, lifelink, and whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Wow. And she's white, right? So it sounds like there's going to be some powerful cards already in black and in white in M14. Well, wow, this is so crazy, because we actually have some sad news as well. Lady Amethyst, this will be, are you going to be able to do one more, or is this going to be the last?
This is the last one.
We're going to miss her. She has to take off to her enchanted forest and do things elsewhere, but you're going to try to at least do some like satellite shows or something, right? And jump in with us, right? So we're really going to miss her. She's been really good helping us with the Magic information and the Magic Minute, which was actually her kind of brainchild there. You kind of wanted to do this, right? So we're really going to miss her, but we will continue on with some sort of Magic, Magic Minute. I'm just losing my mind here. and we're going to try to get her in from wherever you get landed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about anything going on in Magic right now? How have your decks been working out?
I haven't played them that much. We've been very busy.
Oh, yeah. Getting ready to get out of here. We're going to miss the whole family, but we're glad we have the opportunity to have you come in. And like I said, we're still going to keep in contact.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to let her go too far. And we just appreciate all your help. It's very much an honor to sit side next to my little cohort here and learn about Magic. So until the next time we're able to get her on the show, it'll just be someone trying to fill in your big shoes. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back right after this.
Oh wow, this stuff in the player zone is so cool. Oh wow, they got Magic, sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think I see comic books back there. And the player zone will even price this stuff for free. Oh wow, player zone will buy, sell, and trade any of this stuff. So what can I get for her?
All right, welcome back from the break. We just have to thank, again, Lady Amethyst for coming in and giving us her Magic Minute. We really appreciate her and all that she's done for our show. We're going to miss her and her family again. Now, moving on to some serious sports news. We got a lot to cover, so we got to just go right into it. Our boy Tim Tebow has been picked up by the New England Patriots. Now, I'm typically not a big fan of the Pats, but kudos for them for seeing a guy that's a winner, a guy that can help them in some way, shape, or form. He is a superb, he is an amazing athlete, and they signed him to a 2-year deal with there's no guaranteed money on this. Tim Tebow is going to have to earn his way onto this roster, because if he makes it through August on the team, then he is going to be set up with them for, like I said, a 2-year deal. Estimated the minimum salary for veterans at $630,000. Again, no guaranteed money, but there are incentives in that contract, reportedly. So, Tim Tebow is a Pat. Sad to say, but I'm happy to say, because we have a huge man crush on Tim Tebow here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. We're so excited and happy for him. Now the dilemma comes where I have to root for him, and he's a Patriot. He's a Patriot. I'm going to have to do it, though, because we think Tim Tebow's an amazing guy. He is a perfect role model as of this point for most kids and people to watch and follow. And we're just happy all the way around for him. Now, he isn't going to be wearing his normal number 15. He had to be, well, reportedly he's wearing a number 5 jersey. So we'll just see what happens. And this is a perfect spot for him. As we said in the show a few months back, Bill Belichick's about the only dude that can handle the press and deal with the circuses that would come with Tim Tebow. He will lock him down, he will keep him quiet, and he will keep him away from the media, so they can focus on this guy and his game. Giving Tim Tebow a chance, if they're going to keep him as a quarterback behind Tom Brady and their other rookie quarterback, then good for them. Let this guy mature and learn from Tom Brady. Who better to sit behind, hold a clipboard for, than Tom Brady? This guy will learn. He will get the rhythm down, all of the little flaws that the quarterback professionals say that this guy has in Tim Tebow. He will learn to get away from those watching Tom Brady. Now, I had a very interesting conversation this morning with our expert in Phoenix. That's right, JV Money. I called him to get his take, his cut on Tim Tebow going to the Pats, and he had a really good cut on this subject. He thinks that they might be setting this guy up to succeed, letting him sit back and again learn, just as I mentioned a little bit before, but not even trying to get this guy on the field. Just let him sit back and learn. Let him study from Tom Brady. Don't worry about rushing him. Don't worry about getting him on the field unless it's in some other capacity, as in they're already saying possible tight end, possible fullback. Who knows? We're just, again, all around excited, and we think the Pats are about the perfect team for Tim Tebow, and we're just going to have to sit and wait and see what they do with this guy. Now, Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, and as we know, he was the head coach for Broncos when they drafted Tim Tebow. That's right, first-round draft pick. I believe it was number 25 or something like that in the first round, and now they are reunited. So we're real happy, can't be more excited. Moving on. Chad Johnson had a court hearing. He was going to get a mandatory, slap on the hand, a little bit of, community service. And as he's being sentenced, he smacks his lawyer in the rear end, and all of a sudden, this all just falls apart. Now all of a sudden, the guy's going to jail for 30 days because the judge wasn't appreciative or did not think that his behavior should have been conducted that way in the courtroom. So now he goes to jail for 30 days. Now come on, people. We have serial killers and rapists that don't spend that kind of time behind bars. Yes. Was his behavior unfitting for a courtroom? Absolutely. Now, is Chad Johnson a guy that needs to learn a lesson in humility and respect? Absolutely. But for heaven's sakes, folks, if you're going to let the guy get off on community service and he slaps his lawyer on the butt, the last thing the guy needs is 30 days in jail. I mean, come on. That is the most ridiculous thing. It just goes to show you how messed up our system is, how just ridiculous our court systems are. This judge should be ashamed and should be embarrassed because there was no immediate response right then. That's the problem. If the judge would have responded to that with the same meaning right then I could say, okay, maybe the judge has a right here. But no, the judge waits and then comes back and then probably got some conversation with their friends or buddies or whatever and said, oh, you can't let this happen, and then finally came back with this kind of decision. It's just remarkable to me. It just gives me more and less faith in our courts and the ridiculousness that goes on in the courts. But Chad Johnson does not deserve 30 days in jail. Maybe what they should have done to him is slapped him with a huge hefty fine because, as we all know in the sports world, he is not doing very well financially, and that might have humbled the guy trying to come up with money to pay some hefty fine, not sit behind bars. Anyway, that's just a ridiculous situation there in the sports world. A little bit lighter news there. And now moving on, we're not going to cut away. We got to just keep going. We got to hit the NBA. Why? We have an even-tied series, 1-1 between the Heat and the Spurs. And I have to tell you all this right now. The Spurs are really frustrating me because they're leaving the doors open for the Heat to come in and pull off their nonsense. And that's what happened. The Spurs came into the second game with all the momentum, with all of the confidence in the world, and instead, what do? They give up a game where they lose by, over 20 points, 25 points? That is ridiculous. They had to actually bench their starters because the Heat in the fourth quarter are benching their starters, and just not to get embarrassed. This is going to come down to this. The Game 3 is tonight. If the Spurs have any chance at all of winning in this series and becoming the champions, they're going to have to win this game and win it effectively. Win it with confidence and win it by a big margin. If they come in, win by a point or two, we already know what's going to happen. Miami's going to come back the next game and blow them out again. Then they're going to just end up taking the whole series away. The Spurs need to come and show the Heat why they're multi-champion team, why they have their own big three, and why they can win the series. If they don't, it's just the series is over after tonight. That's our prediction right there. They need to win, and they need to win aggressively and by a larger number than a handful. So, we'll see what happens. Tonight's the game, and I'm sure the Heat are going to be very confident with the smackdown they put on the Spurs last game. We'll just have to see what happens. Moving on to NHL news. Man, I was so disappointed in my Pittsburgh Penguins. They just got blown out, swept. And now we got to sit back and watch the Blackhawks against the Bruins in the finals. But what can you say? Obviously the better team won because they swept our Penguins. I'm so upset. I'm so frustrated with that. But that's all right. Not a lot of people like talking hockey. We'll throw hockey here. Now, moving on, we just want to say big ups to the Blackhawks and to the Bruins. They'll be in the finals going for a championship. But let's just break this down. The Blackhawks, just like the Washington Redskins, are they going to start getting demands to have their name changed because it offends some tribal nation? Come on. That's what are we getting at here? It's the Blackhawks. Okay? There's so many things that people could be worrying about in sports over a sports team name. Give me a break. At what point, I remember a few years ago, there was a team going to actually name their sports club the Rippers, like Jack the Ripper. You don't think that would have offended a bunch of people? Yeah, give me a break. So, folks, let's not get so offended by meaningless and pitiful little things, and let's just worry about some of the more traumatic issues that are sweeping our world, like not enough teachers, not enough police officers. Our taxes are going haywire. We have, no help for the elderly, really, and we're going to be worrying about whose team name is what. Give me a break. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Moving on, and then we're going to wrap up with tennis. That's right, we cover tennis right here on the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. And our boy Nadal wins again at the French Open, taking him to the 8th French title. Nadal's a bad boy. He is just the man when it comes to the tennis world and male tennis. So we have to say big ups and props to Nadal for kicking butt in the French Open. And then our own American, Serena Williams, again wins at the French Open to take a 16th Grand Slam. Man, is this woman ever going to slow down? Serena Williams is just like a monster on a tennis court. It's amazing. But we have to say again, thanks for those people to give us the memories of, if anyone loves watching tennis, these two are huge parts of the enjoyment of tennis over the last decade. And we have to just say thank you to them, as we have to say thank you to our sponsors, the Player Zone. This sponsor is amazing. They've hooked us up with this cool house to come, hang out, give you our cuts, our takes on sports. And today is a perfect example on why we have the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. When we found out about Tim Tebow getting hooked up with the Patriots and getting a job in the NFL, we lost our minds. We had everybody calling, everybody giving us information and giving us, numbers and percentages and all these things about Tim Tebow. And we just wanted to get on here and thank the Player Zone for giving us the opportunity to come to you all in YouTube land and give you our sports cuts. And we can't say enough about them. If you want to learn about Magic the Gathering, if you love comic books, if you love sports cards and memorabilia, autographs, sports books, anything, they have it. If you want to learn about the world of gaming, Player Zone, you can go to see them on Facebook, or you can go to riadosomidtown.com, click on the Merchants tab, and bam, you'll go right to the Player Zone and get in contact with them. And we also have to thank Right On Time Errand and Delivery Service. Those are our two huge sponsors. And we have to thank you all for supporting us on our 1,000 views on YouTube. Can't do it with you all. Can't do it without you all. We need you guys. We need you to start leaving us feedback, comments. We will use your ideas for the show. If you're in the Ruidoso area, come in. Sit right here. Be my co-anchor or whatever. You're right here in the house with us. But for right now, we got to sign off. We got to say peace and much love. And J Real's going to see you next time. Friday show. J Real. J